Yeah, buddy, what is up? Welcome back to Duct Tape Dynasty. I am the Duct Tape Dude.
I'm the dude.
And it's week 4 already of the 2024-2025 NFL season. Dude, I am excited to be back. I tell you what, we got a good show for you tonight, and I want to get it moving because I want to see this game, even though it's not the greatest of games. The real good game I'm looking forward to this week is on Sunday night. The Bills and the, whatever you call them, the Ravens, those guys, that's going to be a heck of a game. And I tell you what, tonight we're going to talk about every single one of the games. But before we get started, do us a favor, minimize that screen, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. That's the biggest thing you can do for us to let us know you like what we got going on here. But hang on, even if you don't like what we got going on here, hit that subscribe button anyway, because this year, if we can hit 300 subs, we are giving away a signed Super Bowl I JSA authenticated Marv Fleming jersey, like the one in this picture. In fact, it's right here. Like, you don't believe me? It's right there. Marv Fleming signature on it right there. JSA authentication right back there. Check this out. We got Stephon Diggs. Boom, right there. The red Stephon Diggs Bills jersey. We got 2 of those. We got Peyton Manning. We got Adrian Peterson, Troy Polamalu. We got all sorts of jerseys in there that we're giving away. All we got to do is get to 300 subs. We're at 244 right now. So if you're a subscriber, send it out to some other people. Tell them to subscribe, because you very well, I mean, we got a bunch of jerseys. There's only 300 to choose from, 300 people to choose from. You're probably going to win one of them. So anyway, there you go. So that's the pitch if you're not already a subscriber. But if you are, please hit that like button. That's the other thing that helps us out. And of course, the comments. That's why we are all here, is for the comments, because you guys are the reason we do this. We enjoy the heck out of it. And anyway, you hear me say we. You only see me. So let's bring on tonight's guest extraordinaire, the Ag. Wait a second. It's not the Ag Man. Hello. It's Lieutenant Dan himself. What is up, brother?
What is happening? Doing great. How are you?
I'm good, man. How's life out east of where I am, I guess?
Hey, it's great. Well, first off, I want to start off by saying, hi, Andrew's mom. How's it
going? We got that in. Good. Yeah, she's not even in the comments yet, so you're ahead of the game. But yeah.
Well, it's recorded for posterity. So.
Yeah, we got it. It's in there. So anyway, yeah, what's up? How's your week been going? You're big time out there. I don't want to give all your secrets away, but what have you been up to?
Oh, just been recovering the last couple days. This past weekend, I did my first and likely only ever marathon in my life. The Air Force Marathon is ran here at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where I'm stationed at. So I figured while I'm stationed here, I might as well try it. So I limped my way through it, and I am still recovering from many blisters on my feet.
Just a shade under 8 hours as well. So that's quite the time you put together. Barely. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about my time. It was faster than 8 hours, but
not by much.
Not by much.
I think mine was 4, and it was only a half marathon. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. Good job.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. Well, dude, you're on the show. You're back. This is the third time's a charm. Third time's a charm, right? Because we had.
All right. Well, I'm hoping that this time's different than the last one, or the first one at least, because I know you lost subscribers after the first time I was on. So fingers crossed, we gain a few, or at least don't lose any.
Bold move bringing you back on, man. Yeah, last time we went downhill. So bold move, Cotton, bold move. But hey, let's start on a positive note. We always start on a positive note, right? Which is the honor roll nominees. So let's start talking about the positive things that happened in last week's NFL that we can just highlight and show. And first thing, so excuse me for just getting right into it, but nobody wants to hear how my week was. So whatever, we're moving on. Here we go. And we got time. Something about the time, right? We got to get into the week, or got to get in time for the football game. You get it. Jeez. Talking like Joe Biden. Anyway.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. So our first highlight is the Bears offensive line. Actually, they are getting props from us today. Man alive, check this out. Here is a massively descriptive image. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. I think this one says it all because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Chicago Bears offensive line. And you see them all laying down there circled in red. And all the Colts players, 5 of them that have gotten beyond the line. And my favorite part, though, Dan, of this picture is the fact that this is obviously an RPO, and Caleb Williams took one look, and he handed that ball off, dude, and was like, no way. I'm not taking this. You take this, dude. What do you think about that, huh? Look at that line.
Well, I'm most impressed by who's the lineman circled at the top. Is that 58?
58, yeah.
I think it looks like a little like cover girl pose that he's got going on there. So I think he's vying for a little off-duty employment there.
Yeah.
Like looking for life after the NFL. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
Did they score on this play? I would hope so, considering there was nobody left to tackle them.
Yeah, well, geez, I don't know. The thing that drew my attention, and I like that one. That's a good call. I mean, he's falling with style. But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 defenders.
There is one guy in a Bears uniform who is pursuing the defenders, and it looks like it's the refrigerator Perry is back in for the for the Bears, man.
Props to number 79 for not falling down.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, this is just a picture, so we don't know what happened, a second or two after this. He could have also fallen down.
Well, he's the only one that's not laying on the ground at this moment. So Mary says, hi, Lieutenant Dan, by the way. So she's watching from somewhere. So,
hi, Mary. With Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey's in here on the floor. So, perfect. She's hanging out. Let's see. So actually from that, I think that kind of segues right into our next point. Do you want to take it? The next highlight of where we're at in the NFL so far this season?
Yeah. So as the dude and I were discussing earlier, there's a lot of good stats in the NFL. Are we talking about quarterback ratings? Are we talking about, rush yards versus pass yards? One I think underrated stat is the number of punt yards, and as it's compared to your total offensive yards. So 3 teams in particular, the Bears, who we just talked about, as well as the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos, all have more punt yards than they do offensive yards. So I guess a quick question I have for you, Josh, do you think that is a product of an extremely well-tuned, really awesome punting game, or is this more of a product of like pretty anemic offense, or a combination of both?
I'm going to tell you, we always want to get, any highlights or whatever to Pat McAfee. So I'm going to say it's all on the special teams. It's all great. It's all because of the punter. All that said, blah, blah, blah. But with that said, I think it has to do more with the fact that apparently linemen lay down on the job now. I mean, as we saw in that last picture, dude, the Bears offensive line takes a picnic on the RPO, and I guess that lends yourself to a lot of punting situations. Although the Panthers will have to see what happens now. Andy Dalton took back quite a few of those yards last week. Man, did he ever show up and perform, huh?
I know we'll talk about that one a little bit here. But definitely an impressive performance there this week.
Yeah.
By old Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket.
Yes. And so through 3 weeks, we still have 3 teams that have more punt yards than offensive yards. Unfortunately, one of them is kind of your team by default, by marriage, by, however, the Broncos. So sorry about it, but let's move on to a different team.
Looking better as well, the Broncos.
Yes,
to be fair, so.
A little bit, although I don't know if you picked them this week. We'll see. We'll see that later, too. See how we foreshadow? Look at that. We're just got people, man, we're just baiting the hook, man. Anyway. All right. Next item of business. Hey, by the way, Andrew's mom has now joined us. She's now in here. Hi, Andrew's mom. Hi, Katie.
Andrew's mom.
So, all right, here you go, guys. Here's the trade option for Russ, and this is a hypothetical. Russ, the What do you think of Russ, Dan? What's your opinion on old Russ? Russ Wilson,
Russ Wilson
the
now
quarterback,
or
or
Russ Wilson 5 years
Russ
ago?
Wilson now?
Russ Wilson now is past his prime. I think he's turned into a journeyman quarterback that's going to be good as a backup. Call him the Andy Dalton of the NFL now, the Vinny Testaverde. He's going to be that journeyman quarterback that's going to be great to teach young quarterbacks, but also be there to step in the event of an injury or some other circumstance. I don't foresee him being chosen as a starting quarterback anywhere anymore.
I don't think so either, man. I mean, many people have heard our tone on Russ Wilson, and you can see some of it in the comments as well. We have high knees comments from Kevin, which is a ode to Russ doing high knees on the way to England.
On the plane, right?
Yeah, while everybody else was sleeping, but I was doing high knees. And then you got Andrew just flat out saying he's such a tool. So he's such a craftsman, right? Anyway, so the trade. Anyway,
I know when me and Andrew are on the same page, I know I'm thinking right.
Yeah, yeah. So the trade rumor for this one. This is actually it's not a rumor. It's just who says no to this trade? Quarterback Russell Wilson to the Miami Dolphins in exchange for 2025 6th-round pick and a 2026 7th-round pick. What do you think?
To be
Worth
honest,
it
I think
or
the
no?
Dolphins giving up too much on this.
Yeah. Dude, I was gonna say this is a classic. You take the contract. Here's a bag of balls. We'll call it good. That's it, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this seems like it's probably a fair trade. A 6th and a 7th rounder for Russell Wilson
at this point.
I don't know if you throw in cash with it as well to make it a little bit
the bag of balls, right?
Worth your while. But yeah, there you go.
Jeez. Anyway, all right. Well, let's get to the real stuff, the actual good performances, shall we? We
shall.
We shall go to the honor roll, right? And for the 3rd week in a row, he has been nominated, and finally I have given in, ladies and gentlemen, Sam Darnold. First week, Andrew nominated him. I said, really? No way. Second week, I was like, okay, that's a coincidence. No, he's Sam Darnold. Third week, I'm like, doggone it. All right, fine. 17 and 28, 181 yards. So not a lot of yards, but 4 tutties, dude. 4 tutties. You can't argue with 4 tutties. That's a pretty good deal. 119.2 passer rating. 4 tutties. You throwing 4 tutties in the NFL in one game? I haven't.
Well, if I had Justin Jefferson out there, I could. I mean, how many was it? 2 to Jefferson this weekend?
I can't remember. Andrew would know. He's in there. Look at him. Yeah. He's freaking blowing up the Cardinal. The comments right now. So, but yeah, sorry.
I'm just gonna say it. Sam Darnold overrated. If you're a Vikings fan and you're happy about Sam Darnold, like, I hate to burst your balloon, but like, it's only a matter of time. Sam Darnold, not the answer to your prayers. But 4 touchdowns, pretty decent, but 181 yards, nah.
So, and I agree. And Andrew is making his case in the comments. Funny thing was, Andrew was scheduled to be on tonight, but I kicked him off and put you on here instead. And so now he's like, get out, Dan. See, Andrew, you should have stayed on. He had the chance to be on with us. He could have defended himself. I should put him in timeout. I can do that. No, okay, I won't do that. I won't do that. I don't know. Who knows? You're a co-host tonight, so might as well. All right. So anyway, yes, Sam Darnold, after 3 weeks, I will finally admit you're on a roll, but not for long. All right. So next one. Next one's you. All right. Give it to us.
Next honor roll nominee is, as discussed already, the Red Rocket himself out of TCU, Andy Dalton, 26 for 37. 319 yards. That's almost double 180, not quite. 3 touchdowns and 123 plus quarterback rating. And I think the the more important stat that's not up here is actually led the Carolina Panthers to a W.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of the season. I know it's only 3 weeks in, but looking at how they performed all last season, pretty awesome accomplishment. And now, as we'll probably see later on when we get to the picks coming up, like, what's that mean for the Carolina Panthers going forward?
I know.
Like, how do you pick with, you know, the whole rest of the team, which really hasn't performed all that well, but, you know, are they going to rally behind the new quarterback, or was it just a fluke because,
dude,
you know, opposition didn't game plan for Andy Dalton? They were game planning for Bryce Young. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
But
Andy Dalton, you are on a roll, my man.
We're not as good as Bully. I'm sorry. We're just not. But, you know, last week we had a fantasy football segment on here that Andrew was crying about. And anyway, in that, oh crap, what was I going to say?
Andrew does that a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah. My fantasy football strategy so far when it came to defense, I don't know if you've noticed so far, but every week I drop my defense and I pick up whoever's playing the Panthers. That's been my move, and I did it last week, and it didn't work out because old Red Rocket was in there. So he's definitely on a roll this week. All right, number 3. Let's move on. Josh Allen, a common name in there, somebody that you're used to seeing. Of course, he's in there. He goes off 23 of 30, 263 yards, 4 tutties as well. Went ahead and rushed for 6 times, 44 yards, and a 142.1 passer rating. So that is up there. Not quite the 158.3 that Kyler had last week, but that is a dang good passer rating. He had a heck of a day. Josh Allen, of course, you, sir, are on a roll. And you're up. Go.
All right. Last, and number 4, on a roll nominee is Derrick Henry with 25 rushes for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, and throw onto that 1 reception for 23 yards. 151 yards, man, that's a lot of rushing yards.
Yeah, dude, and he's got Lamar back there as well, who throws and runs himself. So, I mean, Derrick Henry's always been a huge running threat, but then with the Lamar factor, it was like, yeah. Anyway, he's just a machine. So anyway, there's our honor roll nominees. For this week. I put up the poll this week. Andrew has had actually a heck of a week. That's the real reason he's not on tonight. He needed the night off. So he is fortunately, though, with us in the comments. We thank you for being there, brother. And much deserved night off. I hope it's a little bit relaxing, even though we're giving you crap. That's the whole point, is to give you crap so you want to be back on here. What the heck? Let's get to the other games, shall we? Last week's games. We'll go through them kind of quickly, but let's talk about the results. Agman himself, Andrew, 10-6, Sierra 9-7, Wally comes in 9-7, yourself at 9-7, and then we had a slew of us there at 8-8. So 3 more of us, I believe, at 8-8, and then 2 of us at 8-8, and then Duct Tape Dave coming in there 6-10. Dude, he had a rough week. I don't know what to really talk about last week other than, dude, it was another rough week in the NFL. Nothing kind of went, well, I mean, about half the games went the way we thought they would go. Imagine that, right? What happened last week?
I don't know. Well, my method for picking picks in the future, if what happened last week happens in the future, it's just a coin flip.
I mean,
you're going to be better off. I'm just staring at the W next to the Denver Broncos right now, beating the Tampa Bay Bucks. And of course, my wife, being the Broncos fan that she is, I just got to hear about that, all week long about, see, I told you so, should have picked the Broncos. Because in my other, pick'em league, I also took the Bucks, and my wife and my son took the Broncos, and they've just been, rubbing that in all week long. So maybe I realized the error of my ways. I guess we'll see here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But that one was a particularly rough one. And then I think I've picked every single New England Patriot game wrong this year. I'll have to go back and double check that. But
I'm picking both teams this week.
If you want to get that game right, just pick opposite of me, and you'll probably do it all right.
so far. So yeah, the real thing about last week is, I mean, okay, I think 5 different games we all picked the same team. Like it was across the board, and 5 different games we missed that way. There were some others that we got right, but let's see. Denver Broncos and Bucks, we got that one wrong. That's one. Another one that we all had, the Carolina Panthers right there, and Raiders. Boom, that's another one. Then the Giants, that's 3. Then San Francisco, LA Rams, that's 4. And then
Commanders and Bengals.
Oh yeah, Commanders, Bengals. So that's 5. 5 that we all. And then the other thing to talk about from last week was all the Flyers missed, with the exception of Sierra. Sierra on the Eagles is the only one that hit, and go figure. Go ahead.
It's just odd. If you would have earmarked this game before the season and had people pick this game then, how many people do you think would have chosen the Saints over the Eagles? But the Eagles have just come out this season not playing like the Eagles we were expecting. So I don't know. Did the Eagles, turn it around? Just another reason why it's tough to predict these games. But on the topic of Sierra and the Broncos, Sierra, I gotta say, I know the Broncos are your team, and you should be ashamed of yourself for not picking them over the Bucks. I think you picked them as a flyer earlier on in the season and we're burned, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Well, but check this out. So we all said it before the season even began, but the results of this week, and the reason I mentioned that flyer last is because check this out. Here's the new results of where we stand. It did not take her long, folks. Week 3, Sierra is sole on top. She is in the lead by herself, and it's by one game. One game, folks.
Just by the slimmest of margins.
Sierra's 31-17. Wally at 30-18. I think Agman's there as well, 30-18. And then you got yourself there, 29-19. I think there's a few more. Kevin as well. And I'm down there with Dave at 28-20. So not totally out of it, but definitely tied for last. I am. So I'm obviously nailing it, but it didn't take long, dude. We said it, Sierra, 3 weeks all alone in first place. Go figure.
It doesn't matter where you are at week 3, 4, 5, or 6. It matters where you are at the end of the season. So
this is true.
She can be in the lead all the way up through week 17. Week 18 is all that matters. Well, no, we go all the way through the playoffs.
Yep, we go all the way through the Super Bowl.
All the way through the Super Bowl.
Yep. And there's on the Super Bowl, there's actually 3 picks that happen. It's more than just the game. So there's a couple of what do you call those? The prop bets. Who's got
the better mascot, right?
Yeah,
that's part of the
sure, something like that. Coin flip, things like that. So, and actually, if you look, Dave, as I said, it's tied for last. If you look far left and really in the upper left corner, I had to take it off of the kind of off the chart there. That yellow line that's on top, that's Dave. He was almost perfect in week 1. He has now fallen to last place. So congratulations.
I just want to like kind of pause a moment and contemplate that. Dave was by far and away number 1 in the first week, and he has done so poorly the last 2 weeks that he is dead last now.
Yes.
Right? Is that what you just said? Okay. Just want to make sure I understood that. Yeah. Well,
not rubbing it in or anything. Just wanted to make sure you had that right. So
math is something that I need to make sure I understand.
Yeah, math in public.
So if you talk it out with me, so it helps. Thank you. Good job, Dave. You'll come around.
Yeah. If I had the sad trombone, Andrew, I would, but instead I'll just give him this one.
Emotional damage.
There you go. That's the one Dave got. That was kind of quiet. Let me.
Emotional damage.
There we go. That's the one for Dave. So, boom, roasted, as he says. And Andrew, yes, you are on the podium, man. How about that? Well, let's get to the game, shall we? Because there's a game coming up in like 20 minutes that we're always late for. So the goal of tonight's show is to actually get there in time for kickoff. So let's talk about this week's slate of games, Dano. Tonight is the most exciting of them all. Probably not. but it is a division game, and it's one that, you never know what you're going to get when these two guys match up. The Dallas Cowboys are in New York, or in the Meadowlands, or in whatever you want to call it, New Jersey.
Yeah, it's in New Jersey. Yeah.
For Thursday night football tonight. We all took Dallas. How confident are you in that one, though?
When it comes to the Cowboys, I'm never confident. And that, like, again, they just lost last week, by 3 to the Ravens.
Yeah.
But they came out, at the first 2 weeks. I felt like it was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So I never know where you're.
Oh no! What happened?
Get with the Cowboys.
Your internet is sucking. We lost half of that. You said you never know something with the Cowboys. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. You never know what you're going to go with them. Either way, I'm a little bit more confident in the fact that they're playing the Giants. But
Danny Dimes threw 2 touchdowns last week. Danny Dimes threw a couple touchdowns.
Yeah. But if the Cowboys have consistency problems, the Giants more so. I'm not surprised that everyone chose the Cowboys, but I also would not be surprised if the Giants beat them by 3 scores as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing that I love about this game is, remember, I always talk about, I got my podcast start with some other guys. One of them's a Cowboys fan, diehard Cowboys fan, but he's the type that he's such a diehard, he can't watch the games because it's too painful. He gets too emotional, wrapped up and angry and, stressed out, and blood pressure through the roof. And so he always shuts them off.
Is he one of those Cowboys fans that you see the videos of that end up throwing something at the TV and ripping it off the wall or something?
He fortunately has taught himself to shut off the TV before that happens, but perhaps earlier in his life he was that guy. But yeah, he always, the most phenomenal text threads come from him, because we still have the text group, kind of like we do with this, with the Pick'em. Yeah. I'm still on the text group from that other one. It's just 3 of us. And I mean, it's always a matter of time. How long? His name's Dan. How long is it going to be until Dan shuts the game off? Yeah. Sounds like a great guy. Yeah, because of his name. Anyway,
the liability for the Cowboys the whole season is going to be their running game. At some point, I know they got Zeke back, but Zeke's not Zeke of old. They need to get a decent running back in there. I don't think, what's his name, Dowdle. I don't know if he's the long-term answer, but they need to address that running game there in Dallas. Otherwise, they might limp into the playoffs if they even make it. I find it funny.
I hope they do.
Cowboys going to the playoffs, but
I hope they do, because it's always a first-round exit.
They're not going far. And I think I said it last year when I picked the Cowboys to win in the first week of the playoffs. I said, I'm not picking the Cowboys ever again to win a playoff game until they can prove that they can win at least 2.
Yep.
And I think based off of history, that would take another 15 to 20 years for them to win another 2 playoff games. So,
yeah, that's about
we shall see.
Rate they're going. Yeah. So yeah, man, I mean the Dallas Cowboys are just. In fact, I think the last year, and not to keep harping on this, I know we got 15 other games to talk about, but the last year I was on with that crew, I think was the year that the Cowboys had finally made the playoffs, and then they're marching down the field. They've got a chance to go down and like maybe kick a field goal to tie it or something. And with 14 seconds or 7 seconds or something like that, no timeouts, Dak ran down the middle of the field. He does a quarterback keeper down the middle of the field. Time runs out, and there's the end of their playoff run. That's the Cowboys. So anyway, but speaking of bandwagons, kind of like you did with the when we were talking about the Saints game versus the Eagles last week, nobody was picking the Steelers at the beginning of this week or this season, but now we're all on the Steelers bandwagon, and it's Justin Fields at quarterback. What is going on?
I got to be honest. I was thinking with this game that I was going to be going against the current that the majority of the folks were going to be picking the Colts in this one. This one was a tough pick for me. With Richardson and all the weapons that he has at Indianapolis, but Fields and what they got going on there. I know it's a road game for them, but I don't know what the line is on the game, but I think it's going to be a single-digit victory for the Steelers in this one.
Yeah, everything in me wanted to pick Richardson and the Colts, but I just went, okay, defense wins championships. Defense wins, and I think I've gotten burned by the Steelers every week. So I was like, fine, I'll pick them.
Yeah.
So that's how that one went. And then this next game I'm really scared of as well, which is the Vikings in Green Bay. Now we've got a large Vikings contingent. You're the only one that went with Green Bay. Explain yourself.
Oh, what did I say? I said that the Andy Dalton wave is not going to last long.
No, not Andy Dalton. Sam Darnold.
Or Sam, the other guy, the Sam Darnold bandwagon. People are going to start jumping off of it this week. I don't see it lasting through this week. Division rivalry. Green Bay's at home at Lambeau. I think it's an evenly matched game. I didn't do a coin flip per se, but I went with the home team in this one. Later on in the season, if I still feel the same about them, and it's going to be a home game for Minnesota, I'll probably pick Minnesota in this one. But we'll see. I got Green Bay in this one. Lock it in. It's happening.
Yeah, and Love might be back.
I'm going to check the comments here real quick, see what Andrew has to say about that.
Love might be back for this game. So this game does kind of scare me, but I am a product right now. Like I say, I'm an advertiser's dream. Like when I go in the supermarket, anything that's shiny is like, ooh, I want that. It doesn't even matter what it is. Like something I completely hate. If it's shiny, I'm like, oh, look at that. Well, the Vikings, this is a shiny pick for me right now because I'm just like, okay, yep, sure enough, they've been shiny for 3 weeks.
Prove me that you can't win a game, and then I'll start scrutinizing you a little bit more. Yeah. I get it, but
the next one I think is fairly straightforward. So this is my flyer. Yeah, well, I think it's a safe flyer. Honestly, you got a couple. You got three flyers. You went with somebody on the other two, but anyway, go ahead.
But for the next game, you were talking about that being a safe pick. I don't know. This is another one I struggled with because C.J. Stroud and the Houston offense isn't nearly what they were last season. They were just firing on all cylinders last year. They still have a ton of weapons with Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs. And the running game that they have, who's that? Joe Mixon. Actually, is Joe Mixon out this coming week?
Ooh,
either way, they're not performing like they were last year. So that's why I pause a little bit on this. But I still don't think the Jacksonville defense is going to have an answer for them, even with the struggles that they've been having. But as long as they can not turn the ball over like they have, I think the Houston offense is going to kind of roll over the Jacksonville defense in this one.
Fair enough. And hey, what's up? Welcome to Dave. What is up, brother? How are you? What's up, brother? How are you? Anyway, and okay, so let's get to the next one that I think, and by the way, Joe Mixon, I did look it up. He's still listed as questionable. And then they have Nico Collins as well, wide receiver, who's questionable. So we shall asterisk lurk on me. What? I did not pick Carolina. Wait, that's not you, Andrew. That's Kevin. What are you talking about?
Know your colors.
Yeah, you're not pink anymore. Andrew, you're blue, brother. Come on, get with the now, man. Anyway, so the Saints and the Falcons now. That is the Falcons, Atlanta Falcons. There we go. Yeah. I still don't have faith in the Saints, even though Derek Carr did go off for a couple weeks there. 4 touchdown performance, and Alvin Kamara 4 touchdown performance. Last week it wasn't quite that great, but I don't know. This one is almost a coin flip for me because I'm not sure I have that much more faith in the Atlanta. Maybe Atlanta has a better looking uniform and they're at home. So there you go. That's my rationale.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's some good points besides the coin flip there, but I think it is an even matchup here. But I think although the Saints went off 2 weeks ago, they played a close game with the Eagles. I think the Eagles only pulled ahead in the fourth quarter. There is when the Eagles finally scored a touchdown or scored any points at all. But at that point, the Saints had only been held to 3 points the entire game. So I would argue that the Eagles have a better defense than the Falcons. So I would expect the Saints to put up a little bit more points than they did on the Eagles. So that's why I went with the Saints on this one. And what is it, 3 picks?
Yeah, this one's the even split. That's as close as you can get.
Even as we, yeah. So.
Yeah. I'm happy because I'm with Sierra and Andrew, so I feel fairly safe. You're over there with the Vikings fans, so.
well, I was pretty confident with this pick until you said that, so thanks.
All right, well, let's move to the next one. We all picked LA, and Dave, Dave showed up a little bit late, so he didn't see this last slide. I'll show you why we're all picking LA, and it's because of this one right here. I'm back to the picture of all the offensive linemen for the Bears laying on the ground. This is why everybody picked the LA Rams this week, because the Bears offensive line takes naps on the job. So I think that one's pretty cut and dry. The next one I don't think is as cut and dry. We all went with the Philadelphia Eagles against the Buccaneers. Now, the Buccaneers, I'll admit, the reason why I finally went with the Eagles instead of the Bucs was because of injury. I think Godwin's questionable. There was 1 or 2 other injuries that are, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I think we all saw the Eagles finally win a game, and maybe we're kind of becoming more confident with the Eagles' ability to win a game. For me personally, whenever it's a close game and involves the Bucs, I don't pick the Bucs because Baker Mayfield is the worst thing to happen to football since the merger. I guess.
Forgot that you're such a anti-Baker guy.
Actually, I shouldn't say the worst since Johnny Manziel. I'll say so. Baker Mayfield, not a fan. So I will almost always pick against the Bucs because of that. But so go Eagles.
Okay, well, there you go. There's the rationale. We all took them, so win or lose, we're all going down together. So
love it.
The Bengals, are they still winless? Are they 0-3? Are the Bengals?
No. They just won this week.
They got 1 win. No, Bengals are 0-3, bro. Bengals are 0-3, and they're going up against the Panthers. They're going to get their first win this week, we think, against the Red Rocket. Or will the Red Rocket continue the Bengals' 0-for streak? Yeah, I got them up here. They're 0-for-3, 4th in the AFC North. That's
right, because the Commanders-Bengals game.
That's right.
Or the Commanders won 38-33. I don't think in that game that there was a punt the entire game.
That's why they weren't on that punt list earlier. So
that's right. The Bengals did pull ahead until the Commanders pulled ahead.
Yeah. So, okay, the Bengals, hopefully they get their first win, but we don't know what we got in the Red Rocket. We said it earlier. Boy, he rallied those boys last week. Let's see what happens this week. I hope
we said that was Kevin with the flyer there.
Kevin's got the flyer with Red Rocket flyer. Right. So, Kevin, explain yourself. I mean, Red Rocket, that's all you got to say. Really. I think that's a decent pick. Well, it's not the craziest pick I've ever seen. They might ride that Andy Dalton wave. So the next game is kind of your team, definitely Sierra's team. The Broncos, you went with them. You and Andrew taking the Broncos against the Aaron Rodgers Jets with the locker room that is still a mess, but the majority of us went with the Jets. Why'd you take the Broncos?
Because my wife told me I had to. So
okay,
in the discussion.
Fair enough.
Easy pick.
Fair enough. All right, everybody in the comments.
I'm pretty sure she circled my pick sheet before I had a chance to get to it. But no, I was pretty low on the Broncos this year. They proved me something last week, so I'm going to ride that confidence. And nothing against the Jets. I think they're looking really strong this year with a healthy Aaron Rodgers, but I got to go. This one is more gut for me, so I'm going with my gut.
Okay, fair enough. Kevin actually
hasn't worked out well for me in the past, but
well, Kevin's comment actually, I think, is what best describes these last 2 weeks. The NFL is drunk. I think that's what has happened this last 2 weeks.
There you go.
Go home, NFL. You're drunk. That's what we should have said at the end of these last 2 weeks. So anyway, okay. Washington and Arizona. There you are again, flying over there. Are you by yourself on that one? No, you're with Wally. With the Arizona Cardinals, you're on Murray Magic or what? What's happening?
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, it's in Arizona.
I think Kyler Murray is outstanding. I think. I mean, would they lose to a fantastic Lions team last week by a touchdown? I get it that the Commanders didn't punt at all last week, but I'm going to say that's a product of a pretty poor Bengals defense rather than some high octane, powerful Commanders offense. However, the one caveat to that I will say is my boy Cliff Kingsbury on the Commanders offensive sideline is working well with Jalen Daniels over there and kind of grooming that young quarterback.
Yep.
So for those of you that don't know, Cliff Kingsbury, Texas Tech alum. I was there at the same time. Cliff Kingsbury was the starting quarterback, so I will always be a Cliff Kingsbury fan. But in this one, I'm banking on the Cardinals offense. Kind of outperforming the Commanders defense on that one.
All right, fair enough. Andrew, going back to the Broncos game, says that Bo Nix impressed him last week, but Alex Singleton is out with an ACL, so that's a huge linchpin for Denver. That's why he didn't pick him.
Yeah.
So
well, the other one with that,
or
Bo
he
Nix
did. He still picked him though.
Yeah, with Bo Nix, not just him kind of maturing as a passing quarterback, but he's using his legs a lot more now as well. So, and not taking any undue risks out there, I felt yet. So hopefully he doesn't try to do too much with his legs and get himself injured. But I think he's a kind of a up and coming star.
We shall see. So the next game, though, seems straightforward.
Woo.
We all think it is. San Francisco.
Except for Wally, right?
Yeah, except for Wally. Wally, I'd love to hear why you went with New England. Is it true that Christian McCaffrey is out for the year? I mean, has that been confirmed now? I keep seeing things on Instagram that he might be out for the year, but I don't know if they're fake
even
or
if he
what.
is, Mason is doing a fantastic job as filling in for him. I know who was it? Le'Veon Bell. It wasn't an injury, but a couple years ago with the Steelers, that's when we got Connor stepping in and just kind of brought himself to the scene. And I remember at that point it was a contract holdout for Bell, and I just pictured the Steelers front office be like, no, man, we're good. James Conner over here is doing great. So I can see, even if McCaffrey is, injured long term, that he's going to come back eventually, and he's going to be the number one running back there in San Francisco. But Mason might find himself with a nice contract somewhere else because of what he's doing right now. He's, pretty impressive. Not Christian McCaffrey level, but doing really, really well.
I mean,
really impressed with him.
Yeah, he's not doing bad. That's for sure. So, I think Kittle is questionable though, but I think the 49ers have got enough weapons. By the way,
can we just talk about how underwhelming the top end tight ends are doing this year? Like Kittle, Laporta, Kelsey, they're all doing.
Dude, Kelsey's got nothing this year.
Yeah, it's pretty pitiful. Like, I need some performance, and I'm speaking solely from my fantasy football standpoint. Like, my team is doing pretty bad, and I went out on a limb and took Laporta early in one of my drafts, and he's just doing nothing. Come on, Laporta, turn it around.
I got Kittle. I think Andrew's got Kelsey, and none of them are working out. So they're all decoys out there right now. So the Browns and the Raiders. I can't remember why I picked the Raiders. You went with the Browns. You and Dave are on the Deshaun Watson bus. So what's up with that?
Not on the Deshaun Watson bus.
Well, that's a team you picked.
I'm not wild about Deshaun Watson as a player or as a person, but Browns defense, I think, is doing pretty well. They've had some bumps in the road this season, but I think by and large, pretty awesome defense. Really, I know they got some awesome weapons at receiver, so they got to get Deshaun Watson to get them the ball. The one thing I was not very impressed with is how laser focused Deshaun Watson was on Amari Cooper in the last game. Every single pass I saw him throw in the fourth quarter was to Amari Cooper. And I was like, yeah, he's a great target, but you got to mix it up a little bit. You got some other weapons out there. But at the end of the day, my wife's a Broncos fan, and she, I think, refused to talk to me if I ever picked the Raiders to win another game.
Well,
so
fair enough.
So
fair
there
enough.
you go.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, in the division is the next game as well for the Broncos, and that's Kansas City. You had no problem picking them, though, right? So, well, both teams are in the division, so I guess.
Well, I got to ask you a question. This seems like a head versus heart pick here.
Yeah, I mean, look, okay. You heard me at the beginning of the season say I had no faith in Jim Harbaugh whatsoever. And then, you know what? I kind of was like, okay. And I jumped on the train 1 week. 1 week, I got burned. Never again. Nope. They're done. Nope.
Your Chargers are 2-1 right now.
I know,
so.
but it's Kansas City as well. So it's the Taylor Swift factor is what it is. So,
but you got him at home. That doesn't mean anything for you?
No, no,
okay.
Not with the Chargers. Their home is in San Diego. They're not home. So, anyway, oh man.
So a little resentment there for that move.
Yeah, I just not happy with the Harbaugh move. Better than Brandon Staley, maybe. It remains to be seen. Yeah. So.
No, I was talking about resentment with the move from San Diego to
Los
Angeles.
Well, yeah, definitely with that because I'm like, come on. Anyway,
that's why I will not root for the Titans at all. Houston Oilers, rest in peace.
Yep.
At least your team kept their name.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a. Yeah. I wish I could have. Because now I still got to claim them, I couldn't just dump them and be like, well, they're gone, so let me pick the best team in the league. I couldn't do that.
I root for the Titans once or twice a year when they put on the old Oiler baby blues.
Man, it's such a good looking uniform. I love that uniform. It's the best one in football, I think. Well, the Chargers got a pretty sweet one. Pretty sweet one. The baby blue for the Chargers. Pretty sweet. All right. So Sunday night football. This is the game of the week, if you ask me.
Not surprised. It's a split. Not surprised at all.
This is definite split. So yeah, actually I misspoke earlier with the Saints and Falcons thinking that was the only split. This is the other split we have this week. 50-50 split. And both of them are going towards the home team. I went with the Ravens.
I do.
I don't know. I mean, I guess home team. I don't know. I could see it go either way.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would fault a single person for picking, one way or the other on this game. I think for me as well, it's just Ravens playing and on their home field in front of a home crowd. But I also wouldn't be surprised if the Bills won by double digits. So yeah. I don't think we could say anything about Lamar or Josh Allen or any of their weapons that would convince anybody that
Dan
pick one versus the other. But I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see Sunday night.
Yeah.
What?
Your internet cut out again because you're cheap. So
sucks, yeah.
But yeah, that game, I mean, that's one of those that it's like, if I lose that game, it's like, well, I mean, it could have gone either way. It's when you lose the ones like, there's no way this other team's going to win it. The Panthers, that's the ones that hurt. But yeah, that game, I'm just looking forward to watching it. And I'm considering taking the next day off. Not because I'm going to have, get out of hand or anything with Sunday night football, but because, and here it is, this is the real reason I said it. Shameless plug. Monday is my birthday. There is a Cash App at the end of this that you can donate to. So that'll be on there. But Monday will be my birthday, and nice. I will turn 23 again. So, or more than that, I guess. 23 twice and then one. Anyway, so Monday Night Football, Titans and the Tua-less
Titans,
Dolphins. So the Titans I'm not too big on, but what are the Dolphins now? I mean, they got Tyreek that can run like heck, but I don't even know who their backup quarterback is. Who's their backup quarterback?
That's a fantastic question.
I don't even know.
I don't know if it matters that much, but as I
Skylar
diligently
Thompson.
scroll,
Skylar Thompson.
all you need to know, Skylar Thompson, huh? So, no, yeah, even with two at the beginning of the season, they weren't looking all that great. I don't feel like so. For me, even with the Titans, not being the best team, this was an easy pick for me. Again, I'm probably going to go, 500 this week and eat crow, but easy pick in the sense that it took me about a half second to decide who I was going to pick.
Dude, I tell you what,
one.
we all better start doing a little bit better, or else we're going to get kicked off of YouTube the way we're performing so far, man. Sheesh. We're just going downhill and downhill. Something's got to give eventually. The game, I don't know. It seems like it's an easy pick because of the fact that Tua is gone, and this guy that we just had to look up his name is the backup quarterback. So it seems like an easy pick, but I guess you don't know what you're going to get. For the next game, though, Wally, though, went with Seattle, but man, oh man, the Detroit Lions at home. And the X factor for this one, as you can see, I'm not using the regular logo for the Lions. I'm using that blacked out logo because the rumor on the street is that they're wearing their blackout uniform with their blue helmet and the black lion on it. The sickest looking uniform, man, that they have. And when teams
have they not done that this week yet?
No, this year? No, they haven't. Oh. No. And so they're busting it out for Monday Night Football, and I'm all for it. Nice. I think teams, when they bust out those special uniforms, play better. That's why the Oilers, the Titans, whenever they wear the Oilers uniform, I always am like, yep, they're going to win. It's because of that uniform, dude. So I say I think it's an easy pick. Wally, I'm not sure what's wrong with you going with the Seahawks, but I think it's an easy win for the Lions. What about you?
I don't know. This is another game I was torn at. I thought when we were going to see the pick distribution here, I thought it was going to be more 50-50, or I thought there could have even been more Seahawks. I thought I might have been kind of going against the grain on this one. So I think they're both great teams, both potential playoff teams. You got a 2-1 Lions team that is doing really well. But guess what? Seahawks are 3-0. They're currently undefeated. So that's why when I was taking a look at this, I didn't think I was going to see it be six of us picking the Lions and just one picking the Seahawks. Would you say that was Wally?
Yeah, it's Wally. We're all going to look like fools if Wally takes
Wally's going to be
looking
like a champ. Wally's going to be looking like a champ picking the Seahawks, the Patriots, and the Saints over there. So
yeah, and he's with you on the Cardinals.
Oh, and the Cardinals.
So Wally's the Flyer King this week. We shall see. Wally is making a push for the top step, I guess. He's going for that first place. He was in first place at the beginning of last year, and then he continued, just like his son, to decline throughout the year. So anyway, that's the games that are coming up. And guess what? The game is kicked off. It is gone. So only one thing left to do.
3-0 Giants right now.
See, Dallas, go Dallas. Anyway, one thing left to do. Let's announce our honor roll champion as determined by Instagram poll. Usually Andrew's Instagram poll, but like we said, he's on a crazy week this week.
I swear to God, if it's Sam Darnold.
You ready? Honor roll champ this week is Josh Allen. Josh Allen. Not Sam Darnold. Josh Allen won at 60%. Sam Darnold came in at 20%, and I think the Red Rocket came in as 20% as well. But Josh Allen won it handily. 23 of 30, 263 yards, 4 tutties, 6 rushes, 44 yards, 142.1 quarterback rating. Not a bad week by Josh Allen. Most definitely on a roll. So there you go, folks. That's the end of our show. Dan, you got anything else you want to tell the people before we get the heck out of here?
I absolutely have nothing else to say to these people. So great show.
You're done with that.
Great week of football behind us. Great week of football coming ahead. So
Absolutely.
Looking forward to next week's show, man.
Dude, I am as well. It's always fun. This is my favorite day of the week. Anyway, here's the socials. So if you guys aren't already, if you don't know the deal, take a screenshot of this and then go back to this in your photo album. Hold your thumb on any one of those QR codes and it'll take you to that site. Pretty self-explanatory. The YouTube looking one goes to YouTube. The two bottom ones are actually not the main Duct Tape Dynasty ones. They're the second from the bottom. That's the polls one. That's Andrew's Instagram, DTD Up, Big Sky Country. He does a lot more than polls, but that's usually where the polls are. And then
Not what I
Sportniks,
heard.
the guy that does all the, well, you see it. Anyway, guys, you are the absolute best. We love absolutely every single one of you. Let's get the heck out of here. Go watch some football. Dan, thanks for being here. We'll see you.
Thank you, brother.